Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Glad we could finally make this work. Sorry, I go through
Yeah,
DMs in and out, and then like I forget about them. That's on me. That's on me.
it's fine. So, do you have anything you want to say before we get started?
Uh, Nothing too crazy. I don't think so. Um, yeah, is there anything like what do you plan on talking about? I guess just like the
Um,
season, stuff like that.
I'll just ask you a couple of questions about running in general and some random facts or something about you, something like that.
Oh, 100%. All right, I'm ready.
Okay, so I guess I'll start from the beginning. Where and when did you start running?
Yeah, so I started running in eighth grade. Um, I played soccer all my life, like soccer, baseball, basketball for my school team only. But I wanted to quit soccer. I was kind of just a little burnt out from it, and my mom told me I had to do something. So like cross country was kind of like the main thing. Like a lot of people who played soccer start running or something like that. Because they have that just like aerobic base. So yeah, I started running and then fell in love with the guys, fell in love with the team, and kind of like that aspect of it. And
Mhm.
I've been doing it ever since then.
So, when you started running, were you just naturally pretty talented, or did it take some time to build into where you're at now?
I'd say I naturally was a little talented. I had a little aerobic base just from soccer because you were just like running up and down the field all the time. So I kind of had a little bit from that, but it was nothing crazy. I hear of some like eighth grade times now from people, and it's like, holy cow, those kids are fast. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it definitely wasn't anything like that, but definitely a little bit of talent.
So, if you did not become the runner you are today, what would you have rather done with your life, athletic wise, or just anything wise, really?
I like this question. Probably play baseball. I was a lefty, and I was like a pitcher, so
Hmm.
I love baseball. Still do. White Sox are my team. Love watching it. I definitely probably say I would have wanted to continue athletically with baseball. And I'd probably be in a lot different spot if I didn't run. So I don't know. I'd probably still be like in Chicago.
Hmm.
Probably doing like some sort of business and like type of work in Chicago. But yeah, definitely would have wanted athletically to continue with baseball if I never started running.
So, at what time in your running career did you know you were going to be able to go pretty far in it and be able to actually run in college and stuff?
I'd say probably my junior year. I knew like my sophomore year, I started getting a glimpse, but I still didn't know too well about like the whole running scene, like running in college and all that. My junior year is when I started realizing. I think I made a couple like national meets in cross country, and I was like, oh, like this is legit. Some coaches like reach out, and you're like, oh wow, this can actually like I can do this at the next level. And then coming to college, it's kind of just been trying to get better each and every day from like the guys who you train with and everything. So.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, that definitely pushed me even farther. But for college, yeah, definitely probably my junior year of high school.
So, do you remember any of your peers from high school?
My PRs.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, my 2 mile was 9:06, I believe.
Mm.
My mile was 4:09, and my 800 was 150. I want to say 151, but it was on a split of a 4x8.
Mm.
So it's a little like faster because of that.
But they're
But
still really fast.
yeah. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, and then we did in cross country was like we did 3 miles in Illinois. So we
Hmm.
didn't do 5K. I know a lot of states do that. So I guess those would be a little bit different. But yeah.
So, when you were getting recruited for college and stuff, why did you initially choose Notre Dame?
Yeah, I honestly didn't like Notre Dame when I like was growing up. I feel like
Mm.
from the Midwest, you either like love it or hate it. And I was kind of one of the people who like hated it. But I realized that it was a great academic school and they had a lot of potential athletically. They were getting a lot of good kids who I knew from high school. Um, so I couldn't pass up the opportunity to go to like an academic school like that, which I probably wouldn't have gotten into if I wasn't running. So I kind of wanted to use that to my advantage to kind of set myself up outside of running in the future. And then yeah, I definitely don't regret it. I loved every moment at Notre Dame. So that was definitely a great opportunity.
So when you were at Notre Dame, what was probably like your favorite thing to do off campus or like off besides running?
Going to the Warren Dunes, it's like a beach by Lake Michigan. We couldn't go often because it was usually like snowing and really cold. But
Yeah.
when it was nice out for the like couple months that you have, we'd go up there, we'd play like spike ball,
Mhm.
just like hang out at the beach. One of my friends had a lake house up there, and we just go hang out there, go in the hot tub. So that was always a blast. I definitely tried to get up there. Great sunsets. So try to
Mhm.
get up there as often as I could.
So when you were running at Notre Dame, you won the NCAA 10K. And how did you feel after winning it? Like, what was your going through your mind while you were racing?
When I was racing, it was just kind of like stay as relaxed as possible. But then like the realization hit that I could win. And then like when I ended up winning, it's kind of just like shock. You're like, oh, like this was my goal. I always wanted to do this, but like you didn't know how like real it was until it actually happens because there's so many great runners in the NCAA. So it's kind of just way different afterwards. I was just like, holy cow, like going into like summer training the next year, you almost feel a little bit of pressure. You're like, oh, now I got to keep performing at this level. But pressure is a great thing to have. So it definitely that was like an eye-opening experience for like how good I could be and where I could take like running. It was a realization of like I can compete at the top of this level and win races here. So yeah, that was definitely awesome.
So you were on the same team as Yo and the Deuce at the time, weren't you? Was that
Yeah.
pretty cool?
Yeah, he's incredible. I got my butt kicked in a lot of workouts my freshman and sophomore year by him. We're doing mile workouts. My coach is like yelling at me. He's like, "Why are you falling off?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's yard. Like he's good."
Yeah.
But and look at him now. He's going crazy. But yeah, no, he's awesome. He's a great guy. Deserves everything that he's been getting, and he's gonna continue doing some amazing things.
So when you won that NCAA 10K, you were wearing Vaporflies, right?
Yeah.
So what was the reason for wearing like Vaporflies instead of like a spike?
Yeah, so I thought that it one could keep my legs fresher.
Hmm.
Not just for like later on in that race, but also I was doing the 5K 2 days later.
Yeah.
Um, so I thought if it wouldn't affect my like performance in the 10K, I should wear it because it could benefit my 5K in 2 days.
Hmm.
Um, And my coach was kind of more for it. I kind of was like, oh, let's wear spikes, let's wear spikes. And he was like, trust me, like it'll keep your legs fresher, like you should do it. And then I was like, but what if it comes down to a kick? And at the end of the day, though, it's either like you kind of have it or you don't sometimes at the end with the kick. So like wearing spikes or vaporflies wouldn't really affect that too much. So yeah, it was definitely more just about saving the legs and trying to keep them as fresh as possible.
So you used to go to Notre Dame, but now you go to Tennessee. So why
Right.
did you switch over to Tennessee?
So my coach from Notre Dame is now coaching at Tennessee. Um,
Hmm.
and I graduated from Notre Dame, so it kind of just seemed like the right time. Stick with the coach. Didn't want to change things up because things were working, and I felt like I had a lot of room to grow still with him. And yeah, since I already graduated, it just seemed like an ideal opportunity for like a 1 year thing, new school, new environment, a lot of great people, different place to live, so kind of new experiences. And I haven't regretted it. I love it.
I actually really love that you like started going to Tennessee and like the Tennessee team has gotten so much better. So now I have like a good cross country team that's like closer to me. So that's fun.
No, Tennessee's great. I love the school. Like every sport goes crazy, like the football games, the baseball games,
Yeah.
basketball. And the team has gotten so much better. It's super fun to see, and they're only going to continue to get better in the years coming. So it's going to be a fun time around here for a while.
So you just also won NCAA's 5K indoor, didn't you? What
Yeah.
was going through your mind during that race and like how did that feel?
So going into that one, I was definitely more confident than in the outdoor 10. I was just like, all right, stay relaxed. You've been running really well. You have like a strong kick. So I was like, you just need to be there and have the lead with 200 to go. And I'm confident I can bring it home. So in that race, it was just about like being composed throughout it. A lot of moves are going to be thrown by different people and you just kind of have to not overreact to any of them. And then, I mean, at the end of the day, you're racing for a national title. You're racing for your team to score points. So it's a lot bigger than yourself, and you kind of have to remember that and fight for a bigger purpose.
So when racing collegiately, who is your favorite person to race against? And also like the person that makes you the most nervous when you have to race them?
Okay, that's a good one. My favorite person to race against. Um, um, ooh, this is good. I'd say I know Drew Bosley a little bit from high school,
Hmm.
and he's an incredible runner. We've been like finishing right by each other at national meets now for like seems like 4 years in cross country and then on the track. So I love racing against him because he's a great competitor. I mean, you're always gonna get a great race. He's probably one of my favorites. And then who I'm really always nervous about is it was probably more when I was younger. Um, I remember my first DMR. I was on the line my freshman year, and I was standing next to Morgan McDonald, and
Mm.
I was not ready to be racing someone of his caliber at that point. So I was like looking over, and I'm just like, holy cow, like this is not going to go well. So that was probably the most nervous I've ever been on a starting line. I was like, holy cow, this guy is so good. I'm like just a freshman, and I was like, oh man, this is crazy. So he's probably the most nervous I've ever been on a start line.
So do you have any pre-race rituals you do to get into like the zone, I guess, before any big race or any race?
Yeah, so I like to eat similar types of food before.
Mm.
Um, so 2 days out, I love like chicken fried rice. It's like a go-to. I love that. And then obviously some pasta, usually chicken parm before, but I usually have the same racing socks to make sure I'm like ready. Put them on after my warm up. And then whenever I listen to music, um, I like to listen to like certain country songs before. And then
Hmm.
uh yeah, I listen to country music before. I know it's odd, but yeah, usually I listen to like the similar songs or whatever, or just songs that I'm really into at that time, and I like to do that until right when we're about to warm up, and then I always pause it. I never like turn off Spotify or whatever. I just put it to like a certain song that like I like the title of it, and then I always just pause it right in the middle of the song.
So what has been your favorite race that you've ever done?
Oh, um, so when we got second place in cross country at Oklahoma State. I think it was 3 years ago now. That was one of my favorites because we were expected to get like ninth or tenth. We were projected, but we knew we could do a lot better. And
Hmm.
then we all had a great race, so we were all super happy after. That was one. And then the DMR my freshman year when we ended up winning, that was crazy. I mean, we had or like most of our team came because they were going on spring break trip, and they drove through Alabama where we were, and they
Hmm.
all came to watch the race. So like having the whole like them all in the crowd, and then we ended up winning. Thank you, Yard, Sam, Ed. Those are the boys. Um, yeah, that was definitely one of the greatest memories I'll have.
So this is not running. What are three random facts about you?
Oh, okay. So one, huge Chicago sports fan. Uh, White Sox, Bulls, Bears, um, Blackhawks in the playoffs. Playoff hockey guy, not regular season hockey, but I watch them all the time. I love that. Um, I love bags. We call it bags. Other people call it cornhole. In Illinois, we call it bags. One of my favorite games to play, just like hanging around with a bunch of friends. Um, and then, let's see another one. Oh, I used to, my freshman year, solve a Rubik's Cube. I used to know how to because of Yard. He taught me, and now I forgot. So I guess he didn't really teach me. I just like kind of memorized it thanks to him. Um, so yeah, that was cool when I could do that for a little bit. I felt a sense of pride with that. But then one other I'll say is I definitely like to travel. So like went out to Colorado with some of my teammates one summer, and that was like super fun. and I kind of just like to go see new places. That's why like coming to Tennessee for like a year has been so amazing because it's kind of a new experience, new environment that I get to kind of acclimate to and be around.
So in training, what is the hardest workout you do, and what's your favorite workout to do?
So when I was like a 1500-meter runner, which was like 1 year, I didn't really last too long there, but yard and I would do like 400-meter repeats. I'm pretty short rest, and I don't know if it was the hardest because the workout was hard or because he just like would blow me away all the time. That like I'd be dying at the end of every workout, but that is definitely like the hardest workouts I've ever done. We used to do those like a couple days before a race, and I'd feel toast. So you said hardest, and then what was the other one?
Favorite
Favorite.
favorite workout.
Um, favorite is probably like some sort of like cut down workout, like a K8, like 6'4". We don't do those often. We're more like strength based, but whenever we get to do some like speed work, I'm always like super excited for it because I love it. We get it like once a year, like once a season mostly. So that those are usually my favorite all the time.
So when not running, what's your favorite way to cross train?
Oh, so I actually don't cross train much,
Mm.
or really at all. I don't. I just stick with running outside and running on the treadmills a little. But if I were to cross train, I would say I'd. One thing I thought about is like trying to swim more or something. I feel like that's I guess it could be boring, but I feel like that's a really good way to grow your aerobic base. And some of my teammates or friends who have been injured before, a way they stayed super fit while they were hurt is by swimming. And I've like seen it kind of firsthand and they come back and they're still like in great shape. So that would definitely be like my go-to cross training.
So if you could be sponsored by any like brand for running professionally, what would you want to be sponsored by? Or who?
Oh, oh, I don't know. That's a good question. I'll say, uh, if I could be like sponsored by like Chex Mix or something, I would take that. I love cheddar Chex Mix. That's a go-to. Um, so like some food brands or like a Tesla or something, and I get a couple of cars. Those would be super cool. Um, those would be like kind of funnier sponsorships that I'd kind of enjoy to be sponsored by.
Mhm. If you like, what's your favorite running shoe you've ever worn?
Um, I guess I've raced in. I mean, the Vaporfly and Dragonfly. I really have enjoyed racing in them. I haven't really like tried out too many other racing spikes, but once those came out, like it seemed like everyone in the NCAA started wearing them, and you just kind of felt like bouncy in it. So it was super fun putting those on, and that's kind of right when I started getting better as a runner, like
Mm.
just in general. So it's always more fun in races when you're like doing better. So I kind of like when I think of those times, I always think about wearing like those type of spikes. So I definitely enjoyed wearing those.
So who is your favorite athlete other than yourself, I guess?
Ooh, so coming from the Bulls, Derrick Rose. Growing up, I loved Derrick Rose. I loved how like quiet he was as a guy. Super like down to earth, it seemed like, super humble. But when he was on the court, he was always like incredible. So he was definitely probably my favorite like outside of running sport athlete. In running, that's tough. In running, I haven't followed running for like too long, so
Mm.
I guess right now I'd say my favorite professional runner's Yard, just because he's my teammate. He's killing it too. I mean, absolutely killing it. So yeah, he's probably my favorite professional runner right now.
So what do you think about like the Norwegian training style, I guess, for like all the thresholds and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think I mean it's like obviously working for those people. So I know a lot of people who try to like do that type of style here too. And
Yeah.
certain teams do that, and I mean I'm a big believer in like if you believe in the system and you believe in what you're doing, usually you'll find some progression in it no matter what. I haven't tried out that style or anything, but I mean a lot of people do like it, so it seems like it's definitely a good thing for a lot of people.
So what do you prefer, track or cross country?
Ooh. Oh man, this is hard. I'd usually say whatever season I'm in. I like love probably more at that time. I would definitely say when I first got to college, cross country, just because I really like I struggled on the track sometimes. But now that I'm like I've been doing a little better on the track, I would say that's like a super fun season. So it definitely flip flops between the two. But yeah, yeah, definitely whichever one I'm in. Well, I'll say I love the team aspect of cross country that you like notice. You're always with your boys, like every man counts on the line. I love the team aspect of track too, but it's a little different in cross, and I definitely like that team aspect a lot more.
So between the two like sports, if you could only do one event for the rest of your life, what event would that be?
Oh man, I'd probably say the 5K. Wait, does it like is it like what I'm like best at, or could it just be anything?
It could be anything, anything you want.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a lot different. Anything I want would be like, ooh, if I was really good at like the 100 or 200, that would
Mm,
be sweet. Or like if I was really good at like the decathlon or something, even that would be cool. That'd be really hard
yeah,
though. But I'd say probably like the 1-2 or like the 1500 mile. Those are two like very like
mm,
well-known events. Like
yeah.
a lot of people go to watch them. A lot of people like there's a lot of hype around those. So I'd say if I could choose like one, definitely one of those.
In your opinion, what is the most painful event in like track and field?
Oh, this is hard. Um, I would probably say the 400-meter hurdles has
Hmm.
to be like super, super hard. That like it just seems incredible what they do. I mean, the 400 is already hard with how fast they're running, but then doing it all over hurdles has to make it that much worse. I did hurdles one time in my running career. It was my first race ever in eighth grade. And the
Hmm.
first hurdle I flipped over. So, yeah, I definitely, after that, I stayed completely away from hurdles. So I'd say that's got to be the hardest.
So that kind of leads me to this next question. Would you rather do a marathon for time or 400 hurdles for time?
Oh, oh man. I definitely want to eventually do a marathon, like when I'm
Hmm.
in great shape, but, would I rather? I'd probably rather do a marathon. I feel like a lot of people do it.
Hmm.
It's like longer and it hurts a lot more, but I feel like I'd feel really accomplished afterwards.
Yeah.
Uh, and like it's kind of cool like when you look at the marathons, how many people are on the starting line doing it, and like like a whole city comes out for it. So that's always like super super sweet to watch. So yeah, I'd probably pick a marathon.
So as of right now, do you think you'll go pro? And if so, what events do you think you'll focus on?
Yeah, I'm definitely planning on going pro after the season. I'd probably focus on the 5K and the 10K. Kind of what I focus on in college right now, just like at the next level. And yeah, I'm definitely super excited for that. I think anytime you kind of reach a new level in the sport, it's always super challenging, super nerve-wracking, but really exciting at the same time because you kind of have a lot to prove and you want to show yourself. So yeah, I'm definitely excited for that.
So do you have plans to go to the Olympic trials next year?
Yeah, I'm definitely planning on going to the trials next year. That's super cool. Every time the Olympics comes around, that's like a dream since I like you're a kid for everyone is to like eventually make an Olympic team. So going to the trials and having the opportunity would definitely be awesome.
So do you watch any YouTube or anything like that?
I do watch some YouTube. Yeah.
Do you watch either Tin Man Elite or New Generation Track and Field?
I've seen videos from both. I don't say I like watch all their videos, but I definitely like seen a lot of them. They're both super, I mean, great for the sport. Everyone loves, I feel like a lot of kids when they like started liking the sport, it was because of
Mhm.
like those types of people who like kind
Yeah.
of brought it more to like the outside world. And yeah, so I think it's super great what they all do, and the videos are super entertaining, really fun to watch. So yeah, no, I definitely have seen a couple of them.
So when you're a bit later into your like running career, I guess, do you plan to move up in distance towards like the half and full marathon?
Yeah, that's definitely there's potential. I don't necessarily know. I guess it's like how well I'm doing in the 5 and 10 will kind of determine that
Mhm.
more. And how my body's like feeling and all that. But I I definitely could see myself as I'm like way older, moving up into the half and the marathon and kind of trying to compete there as well.
So you don't have to answer this question, but what do you like better, Tennessee or Notre Dame?
Oh man. I love both. I love both. I love different things about each, I'll say. Like Notre
Hmm.
Dame, I loved when I came there. It's like it was obviously the first college I went to, so all the experiences and the friendships made there. And then it kind of like grew me up as a person, the school. So I definitely appreciate that looking back on it. And then Tennessee, the culture, the environment, like what there's to do in Knoxville, the like school atmosphere surrounding sports and everything is like amazing. So yeah, I've also met a bunch of great people here and definitely love that like atmosphere around sports and the love they have for each other at the school as well. So yeah, there's definitely great things about both. I can't pick one. I can't.
Hmm. So do you have a backup plan, like if like you get injured or anything like that?
Yeah, so I got my degree in business analytics at Notre Dame.
Hmm.
So I definitely want to go into consulting if running didn't work out. And I also think going into real estate would be really cool. So maybe like being a landlord or stuff like that. I know a lot of people are doing that nowadays, and it seems like there's great opportunities with that. But yeah, that or consulting would probably be my backup plan after running.
So I don't have any more questions, but if you have any more questions for me, I'll answer them. If not, that'll be all.
Yeah, who's your favorite runner, professional runner right now?
Um, I love Jakob Ingebrigtsen. Like I just think he's like a pretty cool like athlete, like because he's like the first like non-African based athlete that's like performed like so consistently well. I feel like.
Yeah, well, he just took down my guy Yard, so
Yeah,
he is killing it. What about in the NCAA? Who's your favorite?
probably you honestly.
Yo, I appreciate that. Thank you. What's your favorite race you've ever like you've watched? Could
That
be professional or college or anything.
um I went to this like it's called Wingfoot Night of Champions, and it's
Yeah.
this high school meet in actually no running lane track like in Alabama. I went there like last weekend I think it was. My brother raced in like the 16 or like the mile in the slower heat, but watching the final was like crazy because like they ran through the fire. That was just really fun to watch.
Yeah, no, those are sweet. Some of those like beginning of summer races are so
Hmm.
crazy. They're always super cool. There was one that we used to do in Chicago, and it was like the city was like the background of the track. So you'd just be
Um,
racing on the track, and you just see the skyline in the
mhm.
background, which is super cool. I guess what like other sports do you love to watch?
um, I love triathlon. That's
Okay, yeah.
probably like something I follow just as closely as running currently.
Do you uh do you like bike and swim a lot or?
Yeah, I bike and swim pretty much every day along with running.
Oh, that's sweet. Dang. What do you like more, biking, swimming, or running?
Probably running. Running's probably my favorite.
That's fair. I do like in biking though how you can go pretty far and see a lot of cool views. I'll say that
Uh,
that's sweet. Yeah, I'd say those are most of my questions I have for you, but thank you so much for doing this. I really did enjoy it. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for coming on.
No problem.
So have a great rest of your night.
Thanks, you as well. And yeah, good luck in the future with running, swimming, biking, whichever you end up doing, or which if you do the triathlon or just running, good luck. And yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you do some good things.
Okay, you too.
Thank you.
So bye.
Bye.